design. Or today's session that I'm going to talk about is about flow design. Or it could be a force effect on the right drop, or could be like a flow flow design onto the right side bottom. Or today that I'm going to talk about is the more flow design onto the left bottom. Okay, with this I want to show and give a chance to show you the glimpse of the how broader the Autodesk simulation portfolio, particularly many of the people or the designers would be knowing Autodesk for a world-renowned or the flagship product called AutoCAD. But very few people they might be knowing that Autodesk has put a significant investment into the simulation product. And today's scenario, Autodesk is only the CAD company which has the broadest portfolio in terms of the simulation. Maybe in terms of finding out the strength or validating from the composite point of view or the flow simulation. Could be a plastic flow simulation or could be of the air and water simulation using the computational fluid dynamics or using a very complex analysis and high-end tools like an Nastran. So we have a product to serve or cater to the each and every person who is a part of the mechanical stream. Could be a mechanical engineer, could be a thermodynamics engineer, or could be a plastic product engineer, or a composite. So with this, we have the broadest portfolio, and this is what the how the strategic investment that Autodesk has put in all of these stories. Right from starting of the year 2005 to 2014, we have made the investment more than like $600 million in this one, and it continues to grow. Okay, with the flagship products like Moreflow, like an CF design from Newbridge Numbrix, or recent acquisition of the NEI Nastran, or it's part of the Autodesk Nastran, or could be into the composites or advanced materials. Composites, one of the renowned product in terms of the composites. And with this, we want to benefit each and every users of the Autodesk products in some or the other way, and we want them to influence using their product design to make the design more productive, more robust. Okay, with this, we will move on to the main crux of today's topic and the right tool for the right time. And we do have in any of the industry, mechanical industry, we have different people assigned for the different tasks. Okay, today we are focusing particularly on the designer, a creative, or a CAD engineer. Of course, for them, we have a product called Autodesk Moreflow Design. Or could be engineer who is doing a more detailed engineering, putting out the features, and so we have product for the like a Moreflow advisor. And an expert who dedicatedly work in depth analyzing your product from the warpage analysis or doing like a high-end gases type of analysis or something validating the tool from the shrinkage point of view or warpage point of view. In depth or deep diving is required. We have a product called Moreflow Insight. So for each position, for each time, as you move your product development process moves from the concept to the engineering for the analysis and then implementation to the validation. Make thorough checks on that what you are designing is right and it could be implemented without any issues. You are going to save not only your time but the cost that each product will have. Therefore, if you do the validation more appropriately at the right time, your product cost is going to be much appropriate compared to your competitors in the market. Okay, that's what we are going to build your bid. So right then again, I want to emphasize as a design process. That's what I emphasize on it starts with the bid and code and then 3D model or predicting the performance or final part design checks and more or designing a 3D mold design, and then comes to the mold optimization and virtualization and validation, and finally comes to the report and documentation. So in today's, what I'm going to discuss is more on to this portion of the part. Okay, how at early design stage, where you receive you code a bid and then you receive the Moreflow part and you start designing or engineering or building up the features and how does it going to impact, because you are the you are the something, you are the script writers. If you are going to design in that way, it's going to impact to the end users. And let's do the validation, let's do the correction right at the design and engineering stage at the start. Okay, so more on to the Morphlow design. It's a revolutionary new tool that will help the plastic product designers develop the digital prototype with the manufacturability in the mind. End of the day, whatever you design should be manufacturable. And this is the three icons that I'm going to talk for next 15 minutes. But the first starts with the manufacturability, second is the cost, and third is the environmental impact. How it is going to impact on the environment in terms of the carbon footprint, in terms of the energy. And of course, the first would be the manufacturability. What are the errors that I have made in my part? Whether my part is manufacturable? If not, where are the issues in the part? And so on. And this all together we are going to do in your CAD environment or the CAD system that you are going to I'm not going to ask anything that come out and do some changes. And I'm not going to ask anything related to the meshing also. Whenever the people say that it's going to be an analysis tool, do I need to do meshing? Do I need to do the mesh correction? This is the main and something a designer would not be interested because it's going to consume its time of design process. So without making those changes, and would be helpful in validating a design, we have put the tool right into your CAD environment. So how do we get the most out of your simulation? So traditional approach, this was the traditional approach that we design it and then we simulate, you come back again to your CAD, make the changes, go forward. So this was something like an bidirectional way of doing it. I will say some of the tools, they have a bidirectional associated, great, no problem. But are we going to work in the same environment? No. Both the environment would be the same. And this is where a designer started using it first. He says that I need to learn a new tool. Why do I? Let somebody take a responsibility. So, designer is a person who is going to impact all the design or the end user experience, and he's left out of the validation of its tool from the manufacturability point of view. So this was a disconnect that we have it in today, but with the integration of Morphlow design into the CAD environment. I'm talking about this is a Inventor Professional, but our tool Morphlow design is equally compatible with the SolidWorks or PTCA, Pro Engineer and Creo. So any of these tools, if you have it, you're using it. Of course, we have the tool right embedded within the CAD environment. Now the question comes, what for the other people? What they are using? Yeah, what they are using Solid Edge, or if they are using NX. Well, for them we have a standalone product. Standalone product that you can import your design and start using the way you are going to use in your CAD environment. The same tabs, same buttons, everything remains the same as from the analysis point of view. And Autodesk has put in all the CAD importing plugins to that one, so you need not to worry on that. How do I import a Siemens NXY, or how do I import the Dassault Systems CATIA 355? So all CAD plugins are being embedded into the standalone version of Morphlow design. Okay, going forward, I want to re-emphasize on the indicators, because these are the three crucial parts of analyzing your part. So I don't want to give you how the fit and looks like and more in detail on this, but just focus on the three of this one, for the manufacturability, for the cost, and the plastic impact. So manufacturability is terms of whether my thickness is good enough, or how many identities do I put? Do I put the draft angles also? So sounds like I'm talking about something a geometric analysis. Yes, we can do a geometric analysis, but Morphlow design goes beyond the geometric analysis, because some of the designs are very well, we are doing it. You are not talking about something, you are not sounding something different. What could be of any use for me? Well, Going beyond the geometric analysis, that's what I am talking about. You're going to do a field analysis. You're going to check upon your well lines. You're going to check upon your sigmas. You're going to check out how the part would look like after it is manufactured. And that's where it is going to create some value to a designer in terms of the validation. But in terms of the cost, how many undercuts do I put? More the number of undercuts, more critical would be for manufacturing. More the thicker will be the part, more will be the cycle time. Which material should I choose? Will it be polypropylene? Would it be ABS? And that's what it is going to impact on in the cost of the product. And then comes to the plastic impact. As I talked about at the start of the presentation, we're going to talk about the carbon footprints, how much energy it is going to consume, how much water it's going to consume for producing this part, and so on. So it's a real-time simulation. What do you mean by real-time simulation? Is something it's going to I'm just switching out the point of view. Give me a second for this. Okay, so real-time simulation is something as I'm going to do the changes in my part, my simulation results are going to automatically update. So this is what I am trying to show you in Inventor Professional. I had a design and then I put a sketch. I didn't do anything. My simulation results are automatically getting updated. You can see on the right bottom side, you can see that the changes. And it shows that, okay, there is something question mark. I will relive for again for the people who are not seen. I try to show the actual demonstration. So this is the part without any features. And then I started slowly building up the features. Okay, and then the flow starts getting updated. You can see that update is happening and no intervention. You designers doesn't have to do anything, the mesh changes or so on. It gets automatically updated on those. Okay, so this is a real-time simulation. So what does it show other than the geometric analysis? Undercuts, draft, thickness, any geometric analysis tool can do it. But can they do something like a well-line simulation, which is very critical from the aesthetic point of view or from the structural point of view. This is the region where I don't want the well-line because this is where it is going to carry the load. It comes to the designer's notice, right, that when he is designing the features or the features which he has designed, is it going to leave the seam mark? What will be the depth of the seam mark? It is going to be visible. How it is going to look like after manufacturing? And some of these questions he cannot able to answer until a prototype has been developed. But with the modular design, he can answer to this some of the questions, right? And when he is designing, and that too in his own CAD environment, not to learn a separate solution for that one. Will the injection pressure too high? Whether the part is going to be manufactured? Some of the thumb rules. My injection pressure should not be more than 80 MPa or 100 MPa and so on. Why my injection pressure should be so high? Because your part is thin walled or my part is too thick. That's the reason it is going to lead a sigma over here. And this upfront simulation can able to answer all these questions. And this is what the finished review would look like. Doesn't look good. Let's say in the CAD environment, I would be able to see, interpret the sigma or because of the features that I have. Maybe you have to reduce down your thickness. Maybe you have to put something, the surface finish. Maybe texturing would be required if you want to hide those sigmas. And all these things you can do it right up front. When I say upfront, when you're designing, you're engineering, when your design is not yet completed before the prototype. And it's the one the plastic product designers can validate. No special analyst is required for that. And then, of course, from the geometric point of view, wall thickness, your draft angles and undercuts. All these things are in addition to those things. So, beyond the geometric, I'm going to talk about all that. That comes to the cost efficiency indicator. Would be a mold cost, would be a material cost. and could be a production cost. It gives an idea onto the part cycle time also, and it's going to affect because of your geometric change and the material that you are going to select. So it pulls up the material library right from your CAD software. Could be a pro engineer, or could be a inventor, or could be a SolidWorks. So whatever the material library that you have it, that's going to impact on your production cost or the cycle time of the product. And that comes to the sustainability indicators. Of course, when you are designing a product for India or any abroad, the people are now becoming conscious about the environmental impact. And soon, I will not be surprised if the government puts in some regulations onto the sustainability. Well, we have the tool right embedded within your CAD environment to talk about the carbon footprints and recyclability or the energy or the water consumption when you are producing this product. So in an all summary, we have a tool that will sit right within the CAD environment, giving you the information on the manufacturability, cost and environmental impact. So let's go and further deep dive on that one, how it works, how my design can be, how it works when I'm designing, as I do build up the features, how these manufacturability cost indicators get updated. With this, I want to show you the live demonstration for another next 10 minutes. And I have a short video on to the people who are using the PTC product of Rigo. For them, I have got a short video on that. But first, I will show you that actual demonstration using the Inventor Professional when he is designing a tool. Okay, with this I will move on to the Inventor. I hope you all are able to see my screen. Okay, I'm just open up my CAD tool. I am going to open a tool or a file. Let's open a file. So as soon as you open up your CAD, the workflow design toolbar gets started up. It starts analyzing as soon as it goes. You can go on to the simulation plugin and you can do the on and off over here. So when you're not using, you can just off it off. It will not bother you on that one. But when you are it will be live. It will be showing you the feedbacks for the design that you are going to change onto the manufacturability cost and environment. So I have actually a block, a simple block. So let's look at how it looks like. So my manufacturability for this block is 77%, my cost is something, efficiency is 66%, and environmental impact, well, it is very bad, it is 35%. Okay, so where does all this it comes? There is something called as a configurator. We already have a rule configurator built in this one. So for each of the indicators, you can create your own configurator. And being a part of the bigger design team, or if you are a manager or so, or you want to validate your own design, okay, you can design your own configurator for that one. But from the simulation point of view, we have some default settings, but as a user you can always go and change for this configurator, which will show the indications as per your configurations. It is available for all the things. Okay, now coming on to the manufacturability is 77%. Now the question is why it is 77%, why it is not 100%, how do I make it 100% manufacturing? So if you go and click on this one, it shows us some issues like, okay, part wall is too high. Let's click on this one, all of the bunch of the part is too high. And this is just following your configurator. Maybe you have put the configurator in such a way that this much of the thickness, it should show high thickness. Or the draft angle is missing, nowhere the draft angles are given. And apart from that, if you click on the other side information, it shows the wall thickness. So wall thickness I am set up into inches. for the today's demonstration, but you can always change your CAD unit. You just follow your CAD unit. You can go and make the changes to your CAD unit. Okay, and of course, undercuts, draft angles, weld lines, and filling, and so on. But this is something that is very high. I don't want to look at it. I'm going ahead and making some changes in my design. Sorry, I don't pick up. So I made some changes in my design. I just updated my feature tree, feature model. Excuse me. As you see that my cost has indicator has gone to the efficient, it's become 100% from 66%, and my also environmental impact has gone up from 37 to 85%. Of course, the manufacturability is rise from 77 to 88% now. But still, it's 88%. It shows some question mark. Of course, its manufacturability is far better than the previous one. And as I see that I have not done any meshing or anything. As soon as I made the changes in my design, it's getting updated. Okay, let's look at what are the issues in this one. I missed angle, so it shows me where I am missing the draft angle. Okay, these are the regions where it is missing a draft angle. Of course, and then comes the weld line. We'll talk about weld lines in later part on that. And then knife edges. Knife edges are something of very sharp edges which are not manufacturable anywhere and very crucial. And many times when you are designing a part, you left out with those things, and the tool maker has to make the changes later on. And because of these things, many times a part thickness changes. You should be so good for design at front. You the information onto the knife edges or sharp edges where it is not possible to manufacture those things. Okay, now coming on to my weld lines. Well, where does the weld lines falls? But before the weld lines, I want to show you something injection locator bar. So by default, it takes upon the injection location. So it does the gate location analysis in the background for you, and by default it puts the gate. And when you click on the gate locator, you have an option to pick. You can add the new gates or you can move the existing gates. And on that existing gate, it shows the information on the weld lines. So it shows the information. This is where the weld line is going to form. How do it going to form? Let's look at the flow animation. So I'm going to put an flow animator, and you can see how the weld line is getting formed. Okay, so I just pause it. It flows from this, and the weld line forms. So you can see how the weld line is forming. It's getting pinched, and this is what you can do it up front. That's right into your CAD environment. This is just beyond your geometric analysis, draft angle, or undercuts or so on. Okay, now this is okay. I'm going to move the gate location. I don't want the gate location to be here. I'm just going to move this gate location to other location, other part, and just keep a watch on those 3 tabs. As I'm moving it's getting updated. This portion is getting updated. So it updates. So now let's look at the weld line location with this one. Okay. Now it has gone from this part, hardly at a few of the portions where the pinching is going to happen or the flow is going to meet, the weld line is going to form, and how the flow looks like. Or you can add the multiple gates also. I'm just going to stop this one, and then you can pick it, add the gate wherever you want. And let's look at the weld line now. Yes, so three gates, and the center where the flow is meeting. You can see this is how the flow is meeting, and that gets rise to your weld line. Well, this was something, and you can go ahead and delete your gates. Fine. Now let's look at the cost. The mode cost, it's very small. It's just a relative figure of that. It's not showing. And in the production cost, it shows that the part cycle time is 7.7 seconds, and it all together driven by the material you choose. I'll choose the nylon 66. I can go ahead and change from nylon to say polypropylene. Now let's look at my product cost. Does it? Yes, it has slightly increased from 7.7 to 8.6 seconds. Well, this was okay with these features. Now I'm going further ahead and change the features further. As I say, I'm changing the features. I added a lot of now thick sections over here at the bottom, and this is going to cause some issues now. Let's look at the. It shows that okay, wear line has occurred. Yes, the wear line has come because of these features. Let's look at. Okay. So you can see that wear line is been forming at the cutout locations on this one. So wherever the holes has been formed, the wear line has been forming over there. Okay. Then comes something called as a draft angle I am missing. I am again missing the draft angles over here. Well, apart from the draft angles, undercuts has come. There are 4 undercuts now. And sigma has come up. Because of this one, the sigma has come up. Let's look at the now product wall thickness. This is exceptionally high, 0.24, 45, or 1/4 of the inches of this one. So it's quite a significantly high. So if I check out this one, it comes around like 25.4 into 0.2643. It's around like 6.7 mm. Okay. Beyond that, you can also look at for the well-line sigmas and filling. Of course, I showed you the filling, how the filling pressure, and this is the pressure in the PSI. And you can always go and add your gauge. And my filling pressure is going to change with that now. Significantly reduced. Okay. Well, I will now go ahead and complete my all of the part. So I added a lot of things now. And my design it's ready. It's going to show you my undercuts. It's going to show you my draft angle, missing draft angles. We're going to show you the weld lines. It's going to show you the knife edges. And also the production is very high. It shows that my product cycle time is very high because of the thicker sections in my part. So where are those wall thickness thicker sections? These are the thicker sections in my part, which are completely causing my part wall thickness, increasing the wall thickness, and it is increasing my cycle time. Sounds interesting? And of course, on the mold cost, it's more on the relative. And when it comes to the environmental impact, it is like a carbon footprint, how much the carbon footprint has been released in manufacturing of this part, and more on the sustainability. Okay, so this was a very short demonstration. I hope with this demonstration anybody can do this type of analysis. It doesn't really require an analyst, so that's the reason I called this tool as a mold flow design, as a tool for the plastic product designer. With this, he can do the flow simulation, he can check how the pressure requirement he can see. But beyond that, one thing that I also insisted or talked about is the finish tool. How does my part is going to look like after it is manufactured? So we do the real-time rendering right in your CAD product. you can see a finished preview of the part, and it shows highlights your C marks very clearly. And this is something that you don't require any third-party tool. You are doing the validation in the same solution which you are doing the modeling. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the same thing within a standalone product. So we have a both version of this Moreflow design as a plugin right within the Inventor, SolidWorks, or PTC Pro Engineer or Creo. And for the people who are using other products than these three products, we have a standalone version. And this is a network license product. So at any point of time, you can shut off this one, and the license will be released and may be available for other engineers. Let's look at for the standalone product. So standalone product, I have imported this. As I said that you can import all the types of files. So all types of files you can see over here. Here or Pro Engineer or NX or EGS, Parasolid. So all plugins has been imported and built in this one, and you can. So I'm going to open a completed part which I worked on this one. As soon as it's been imported, it will start. The three indicators again comes up over here. The different thing over here is that now material library is built within the Moreflow design. Okay, you get an options to pick and choose from the Moreflow library, as it is not been included within your CAD product. So Moreflow library, material library is been separate, and we have been characterized for them just for the engineer or the designer's point of view, not going into the more into the detail. Automotive, if you what products or what type of material he is using in automotive, that is being characterized, or the could be a consumer product or electrical, and so or a food grade container or a medical. So this type we have done the characterization or categorization. We can choose the material from there. And then rule configurator or the pull direction can be set over here. You can just go and pick the location where you want to put your pull direction and just move it. And this becomes your pull direction. On that basis, it does all of your future analysis of this one. So this shows your pull directions or the mold opening or the parting line on that. Okay, once you are done, your analysis is ready and shows the filling animation. So it chooses your gate location by default, as I showed you in the before. You can have the injection toolbar, it shows your gate location and so on. The same tools are available within the standalone version of the Moreflow design. Of course, finished preview is something much better over here. Now, you can save the images of the finished preview. Finished preview. You can highlight the effects, or you can save the images also, and material also you can change it. You can change the color of different type, or you can add the sparkle in that, or you can reduce the shininess of the product, or you can make the product shinier or better. So these are all available. These are the extra features that are available in the standalone version of the product. Okay, so with this. Any questions that we will take at the later part of the sessions, and with this I want to show you something for the audience who are using PTC products. So I have a short video demonstration for the people using the Creo or Pro Engineer. So this is a very short video. I am trying to record it from my division. So same three icons are available over here. So same thing that I showed you, it gets updated. Your filling pattern is getting updated and will preview. And as you build up the features of this one, and same features that we have showed it in Inventor Professional and created the same features into your Pro Engineer. And you can see that, and this plugin gets started as soon as you start working on a new part, and you have designer has an option whether to work as this one, or you can shut it off, or you can open your existing design which you are already modeled. For that also you can do the analysis from the manufacturability point of view, from the cost or environmental impact from the. So it will show you the regions of the higher thickness which you might have forget till the time you didn't have this tool, but it clearly highlight those things which are left out at the time of design. So all of those things the same. You can see the undercuts, you can see the draft angles, or the crucial part. Say undercuts are something we just draw it when you are modeling it. We model it and we are left out with a more number of undercuts. And we really at the time of modeling we are not that much of keen on understanding how many undercuts I'm doing it, because you are focused on the feature modeling or the aim that this product is going to be fitted with another product. So that idea, that thought process is going at the time of when you're modeling it. But at the time of modeling, many times you just land up having a higher thickness or undercuts, or you missed out of the draft angles. But with Morpho design, it will be an advisor or assistant with you, helping you doing a checks at each and every feature changes that you're going to make in your part. And of course, we have the same finished preview available that as for the Inventor or plugin for SolidWorks or Pro Engineer, or it could be a standalone version of this one. So with this, I'm going to open up the this session for the Q&A. That's what I have it in a very short session of like 45 minutes. So I open up these things for Q&A. If any questions, please throw it to me. I put my best efforts to answer. If not, I will get back to you on this one. With this, I am opening up the session for Q&A.